I want to kind of get into the basics of snowshoeing, kind of a snowshoe 101. This is kind of a new sport for us, and when we first started, we didn't have a clue how to snowshoe. Check some YouTube videos. We always check YouTube for anytime we're going somewhere. Let's check YouTube and see what other people have said about it. Probably one of the best ways to research an area before you get there. We check YouTube before we RV, we check YouTube before we hike, we check our YouTube snowshoeing. What I have found also on snowshoeing, there's not a lot of YouTube videos about it. Mine's going to be Colorado specific. So I would say our biggest thing, I have a downhill skiing background, so that's where a lot of my ideas come from. One thing you got to do is chase snow, and you really don't do that when you ski. You go to a resort, the snow comes, they pack it, they groom it, and it stays there. When you're snowshoeing national forest ground, places like that, it might snow 10 or 12 inches and the wind might come up and blow it away. You got to remember, just because you're going to 10,000 foot don't necessarily mean there's going to be snow there, because you say, oh well, there's snow at the ski resorts. Well, they groom it, they pack it, they have a snowcat that maintains that snowpack. Just national forest ground, a lot of that snow will just blow away. So just altitude alone just doesn't guarantee snow. So the biggest thing we learned is you chase the snow. I'm up here at Lake San Isabel. We got snow all day yesterday. I'm up here today. And I'm sure a week ago, probably couldn't have shoed here. Probably next week, you probably can't. So the thing about it, you chase the snow. When it snows, you go. Now, if you go to high country places, Monarch Pass, some of the other passes, 10,000 foot elevation, you're probably going to find pretty good snowpack. And we're trying to get around to the state and try a bunch of different places. We've tried Mueller State Park. We like to snowshoe. Again, chase the snow to Mueller because we went up there before when it was just snow patch. So that's the biggest thing I've had to learn about finding snow is you chase it. Just because some places 10,000 foot elevation doesn't mean there's going to be snow there. So mountain passes are good, national forest grounds are good. Another tip is don't get stuck. I know a few times we've turned down a national forest road and you don't know how deep that snow is. There's nobody around. And I remember one time down at Kachara, we got stuck. We were in about 10, 12 inches of snow and just buried the truck. And luckily I had some wood scraps in the back of the truck that we put under the wheels and backed out on. So keep that in mind. State highways, county roads that get graded. Coming up here, Highway 165 was graded out really nice. So, kind of watch going down them roads. You get stuck, sometimes there's nobody around. So, a little common sense, don't get stuck when you're looking for snowshoe places. Kind of stay on highways that have been graded and, just a little common sense. Keep a full tank of gas in case you do get stuck. Nobody's there to help you. Food and water. Worst case scenario, you're stuck overnight. Another tip up here, drink water. I have a little bottle of water. Longer trips, I have a Camelback. They're good. I just didn't want to mess with it. I just brought a couple bottles of water I put in my pocket. I carry, I've got some peanuts with me. Just a little snack if you get low blood sugar. So that's just the big tip. Chase the snow, and sometimes it's hit and miss. So one thing about snowshoeing I'd like to address, if you've never done it before, people say, is it hard? It really isn't. It's like walking. I mean, walking in snow, hiking in snow. They're really, when you kind of get used to them, you don't even notice you have them on. Sometimes if you have a big snowshoe, you have a little wider stance. Actually with mine, I don't even hardly notice it. My gait when I walk in snowshoes, it's almost just similar to when I'm walking in regular hiking shoes in the summer. So, the feeling you get, sometimes the ground gives a little bit, but it's not hard. And I don't think it's really any more taxing to snowshoe other than the resistance of the snow. So the learning curve on it is almost non-existent. If you can walk, you can snowshoe. So yeah, just the feeling, of snowshoeing. It's not difficult to do, very easy, and it's just almost like hiking in the summer, other than you feel a little bit of resistance of the snow once in a while, but a lot of fun. Yeah, so another thing about snowshoeing is just this solitude out here. It's like I've been out here for about an hour hiking and I haven't seen anybody else. It's just very peaceful, very relaxing. Get out here and do this. Nice thing about it, you buy your snowshoes, you're set. You know, there's really no expense involved. It's not like downhill skiing where you got to go buy $100 lift ticket and be around a bunch of crowds. It's just, I used to do a lot of skiing, and tell you what, a day like this is just much more relaxing and just very enjoyable. So yeah, I'd say altitude's getting me. Pueblo's 4,700 foot. I think we're about 9,000 here. So yeah, highly recommend snowshoeing. Very enjoyable. And you know, if you're an adrenaline junkie, it might not be your cup of tea. But if you just enjoy nature outdoor like we do, excellent activity. Fairly cheap to do. Buy your shoes and you're in. But I mean, it's just like awesome. Just look at what I'm in today. Beautiful scenery. Well, let's take a look at my snowshoe here. We really like these shoes. They have bindings that are easy to get in and out of. When you want to get out of them, you just pull that back and pull that. You're basically out of them. Another thing about my snowshoe, these are Yukon. I think they called them Yukon Charlie. That's what the YC is. Advanced 825. We looked at a few others and we went with these. The bindings, and that's one thing I'm going to recommend. Make sure it's easy in and out. We looked at some other snowshoes that just had real confusing, hard to work bindings, and we like these. You just put your shoe in and you pull that over and it locks it down, and then this comes back and locks back, and this catches on your heel. But easy. These bindings are easy in, easy out. I mean, this is what sold me on this specific shoe. It was just the bindings. And my son has another brand, and they are just a nightmare to get in and out of, and these are just so simple. So we really like these. My wife has a pair, I have a pair. And the shoes, when you snowshoe, I have just a regular Columbia, and what you want to look for on the back is a little notch, and that's what this strap goes around, that little notch, and your shoe don't come off. You know, you think, oh, it's gonna slip off. I've never had it slip off yet. So get a boot that has a little notch on the back, and these Yukons, we really like them. And they come with poles that telescope. So really like the Yukon snowshoes. Come down, try it a day after the snow. It's great. And enjoy. Thanks for watching.